Hello guys and welcome to today's episode. In this video we will do a small web scraping project where we will use Selenium to log in automatically to codeforce.com and go to the problem set page. For this we will use Selenium in Python and we will use the .env package to save our environment variables, so in this case our username and our password, in an extra file that we don't have to save them in our Python code. Before we start, we need to set up a few things. Let's get started. First of all, I need to go to my folder. I call it web scraping, I think. Yes, that's it. We start with creating a virtual environment because we will save a few packages and I don't want to save them globally on my computer, so just in a virtual environment. For this, we now need the python-dotenv command. You see here the virtual environment will be installed. This lasts a few seconds. Now it's installed. Now we want to activate our virtual environment. Now it's activated. You can see it here, the vent in the front. And we will install Selenium with pip. And I said we will need python-dotenv, so we will install that too. And for scraping in Chrome, so I will use this in Chrome, we'll need the Chrome driver. Therefore I have here opened the Chrome driver chromium.org page. There you can go to downloads and see the current releases that you can download. To find out which version you need, you can go to here up to on settings, and on settings go to about Google Chrome, and there you can see I'm using version 85. That means I need to download 85. I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm using this zip. I will just unzip it and save it in my web scraping folder. Okay, you can see now here's the exe file that we need. That's it. Now we can start with coding. We start with creating a new file. We just call it main.py. Now we need to import a few things. I will start with the .env. What is .env doing? So with .env we can save our variables or save some variables that we need, in this case the username and password, in a separate file that we can call .env for environment. And there we will save cf user, so our codeforce user. This is just a variable name. You can name everything you want. Just be careful. Username, for example, is not allowed or will make some problems because .env goes on the OS environment, and of course you have there other username. So just call it, for example, how I made it, cf user. And this will be test user 321. And we need a password, and this is this. Okay, so these are our secrets that we'll use now. For being able to use them, we need to import this. To make Visual Studio Code realize that you've downloaded and installed .env, you need to choose another interpreter path, and we go on our virtual environment. So now he's looking in the virtual environment and hopefully sees, yes, that we've installed .env. And we need import OS. Now we load. We will invoke load.env, and this makes the variables in the .env file available here. Therefore, we take a username, say getEnv, and take our CF user, so this here, and we take our password, okay. Why are we using .env here? So .env is used to not, as I said, not store your passwords in your code. And for example, when using Git and taking a git ignore file, then normally .env files are not committed. So you just have all the passwords locally and you don't store it to a server or something like that. Now let's start with web scraping. Therefore, we need to import Selenium and there the WebDriver. We'll go very slow in here and go step by step. I think that's all we need for beginning. Then we will initialize a driver, this WebDriver. We want the Chrome WebDriver. Of course, you could go for Firefox, but I like Chrome the most. And I say my executable path is just here, and it's the Chrome driver.x. And then I say driver get codeforces.com/enter. I save my file here and I will open the command line, and there we'll just invoke our file and hopefully see, okay, this here, a problem. Of course, I wrote something wrong, so now it should work. And you see a new Chrome window is opening, and this Chrome window goes to codeforces.com enter. So it gets the homepage that I wrote here. That's good. Now we want to log in. So we need to write the username and password in these boxes. Therefore, we need to get these elements. And to see how to get them, we go to the Chrome developer extension and we'll inspect what we have here. We will look always for either an ID or a class, or we go to Xpath to identify our elements here. So we want to identify this element because we want to write in our handle. And we see here that we have an idea. An idea should always be unique, so we can take this. It's handle or email. Let me just copy this, and we take our, just call it username field, and we take our driver and say find element by ID, and our ID is handle or email. And then we want our username field to be username, and therefore we have the function send keys with username. Let's try this. Nice. So this is working. We open the, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Now we are opening codeforces.com. We take our handle field and we write in our handle. We go on with the password. Same like username field. Password field is driver find. Let's see if we can take an ID here too. Yes, the ID is password. Now let's copy and paste. Find element by ID and password. And we'll use password field and take send keys and send our password in there. Let's save this. What we now want to do, we want to log in, and therefore we need the login. And when we inspect this, we see that the login here has no ID, but it has a class. So we can find this element by class. That means the submit button is driver find element by, maybe I just show you, there are a lot of possibilities to find elements. We will just use a few in here. Find element by class name. And our class name is submit. Good. Let's check if we can log in. We can't, because I forgot something. Of course, we have now our element, the submit button, but we need to click this button too. So therefore, we have the submit button and the easy function click. I'll save this and try it once again. And now we are logged in as test user 321. Now what we want to do is go to our problem set. The problem here is with web scraping that our Python scripts will be just executed from top to bottom. And here we need to wait that we get really logged in. This is sometimes a little bit hard. There's a small little trick where we will use the WebDriver wait, or we will wait on elements to exist on this page. So therefore we need to find an element that is just available when we are logged in. And I will show you this element, and that's this here. So when we inspect it, it's the header bell image. Let me just log out once again, so you can see it's not available here. I would just execute my file once again. It's not available. Then we log in. And now it's available. We'll use that. Therefore, we need try. We try to find an element. WebDriver wait. I have to import them. Selenium WebDriver command by import by. Then from Selenium WebDriver support UI, I want the WebDriver wait, and I want to import this not shown expected condition as EC. Okay, so I want my WebDriver wait, and I want to show him that he should use my driver that we initialized at the beginning and wait for a maximum 10 seconds until it times out. And it should wait until you see presence of all elements located by class name. So I tell him, wait until these elements that I will list here are available on the page. Therefore I take this we see that it is a class, so we don't need a class selector. By class name, and it's this. Okay. If this works, then everything is fine. Then we don't get an error raised, and we can say that we finally want to go on our problem set. And our problem set we will inspect, and we see we have something special here. We don't have any ID, we don't have any class, but we always can use something that's called Xpath. We'll see that in a second. To get the Xpath, we can go to with right click, go to copy and copy Xpath. Now let's look what the Xpath looks like. It's something like our DOM tree. So you can see we are in the body, we are in the third div element, then in the fifth div element. It's an unordered list, the list element 5, and an A, so link. And we can use this, so let's say the order to find these elements. And this we want to do. We say that our problem set field is driver find element by Xpath, and then we will write our Xpath in here. And we want to click on this to open the problem set field. Let's try it. Selenium chapter support. I imported something wrong. It's not expected condition, it's expected conditions. Sorry. Once again, we are logging in. After we've logged in, let's click on problem set. So we are almost there. I want to have something special because I want my problems to be ordered. Therefore, we need to sort them. There we have a button where we can sort them, or a link we can sort them. And I want to have them sorted ascending. Therefore, we need our order field. That means we need to inspect this once again. I want to inspect this. And we don't have anything like an ID or a class there too. That means we once again go to copy Xpath, and say order field driver find element by Xpath, and take our Xpath, and we say order field click. As you've seen before, when you just click once on it, then it's called then it's sorted descending. I want to have it ascending, so I will make a small loop with range 2 to do this 2 times. I save it, and let's do the script once again. And that's it. So this is our little web scraping script. I will just make it a little bit bigger, where we go to codeforces.com, we log in, we go to the problem set, and we sort it in a ascending way. What we learned in this tutorial, we learned how to use .env. Of course, .env has some more possibilities, but I want to just keep it simple. We learned how to use the WebDriver, the Chrome WebDriver especially, how to find elements in a DOM, how to find elements by an ID, how to find element by a class name, how to find elements by Xpath. We learned what we can do when we are waiting, especially when we are logging in. That's a very common case with using the WebDriver wait, the until function, and that's it. I think these are a lot of information, pretty useful information. You can do a lot of things with it. If you have any further questions, just let me know, or if you have any comments, just write them down below. If you like this video, I would appreciate if you give it a thumb up. To don't miss any videos of me, just subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. See you at the next video. Goodbye. At the end, just a small extra. So I just implemented the try finally case here. Let's do it one time without it. So we will just comment this out. So let's just run our script again. You see that the browser was too fast. It clicked on problem set, but we are not logged in because it didn't wait until the request was over, and therefore we have the problem. So that's why we need this WebDriver wait thing.